I'm sure that most people in the world have heard some kind of urban legend in their life where there are particular places and particular cities where one just shouldn't go at night. And in today's Halloween Spooktacular, I'm going to tell you about the Donkey Lady of San Antonio. This donkey lady haunts the Elm Creek Bridge in the San Antonio area, and she haunts people with her screams and her cries. So I want to tell you all about the donkey lady's story and how it came to be. This story dates all the way back to the 1800s, but the most popular versions of the story say that it took place in the 1950s. So let's get into it.
The lady was badly burnt in a fire, and she was distorted, and her hands became almost to look like hoofs, and they were heavily scarred, and her face was elongated, and she sort of looked like a horse.
Throughout the years, many visitors here have told the story of seeing this woman or seeing this beast. But like the supposed encounters, there's more than one story about how this haunting began.
She was coming across the bridge here with her donkey. Her donkey had attacked and hurt a little boy earlier or something along that lines. The father came out here, the little boy. He caught the lady and the donkey going across the bridge.
Rumor has it that woman and her donkey were pushed off the bridge and died. Then her spirit never left. But that's what it just may be, a rumor.
The kids out here. Then after a while, one of the uncles took a horseshoe and he put it on a long rod, and they'd sneak up and they'd pick an old beater and they'd shake it and they'd slam that horseshoe into it.
It may have been kids who spread the story, but
if you take a look around, it still doesn't look like it's somewhere you want to be when the sun goes down.
Here, when it gets darker out here, you're going to have experiences out here on your own, because it's definitely creepy. Be careful when you come out here.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
The man telling the story to the news reporters was actually the first time I heard that version of the Donkey Lady story. When I first heard about the Donkey Lady of San Antonio, her story took place in the 1800s. She was a poor farmer's wife in the countryside of Texas, and she, her husband, and her children lived in a small farmhouse, and the family also owned a donkey. Now, in the first story that I heard about this donkey lady, a rich man going by the property one day saw the donkey lady's donkey standing in the middle of a field. And he was an evil person, really, at heart. So he actually went up to the donkey and started beating it for absolutely no reason, which, I hate that. But evil people will do evil things. So this rich man who was beating the donkey actually got caught by the farmer and his wife. And the wife ended up running out into the field to rescue her donkey from this rich man's beating. And the man was so offended by her catching him in the act of doing this to her animal that he came back later that night with a group of people, and they ended up catching the house on fire, which killed the husband and the children and left the lady of the house completely disfigured. Her skin was melting off and gave her face this elongated look that made her look like a donkey. And her fingers were so burnt that they fused together, causing her hands to look like hooves. The farmer's wife, being the only one who survived this tragic fire, ended up running from her home, screaming, wailing, and crying in pain. And she ended up running to the Elm Creek Bridge and jumping off the bridge into the water below just to give herself relief from the extreme burns that were all over her body. Now, the story goes that the woman's body was never found under the bridge or anywhere in Elm Creek. But even to this day, people claim that they can hear screams in the distance, and people even claim that if they go there at night, they come back to their car only to find it was dented by a donkey hoof. In another similar variation to this story, I read that it was actually the farmer who killed his children and burned his wife when he himself burned the house down in a fit of rage, which also ended up killing himself in the fire. So I don't know. I don't know which story sounds more realistic. A rich man beating on a donkey, or an angry farmer burning the house down and killing himself and his children, leaving his wife disfigured in the process. But either way, the story always ends with the lady running to the Elm Creek Bridge, jumping into the water, never to be seen again. When I heard this urban legend, I was definitely intrigued. And I actually have a friend who lives in San Antonio. So I reached out to her and I asked her if she has ever heard of the donkey lady. She herself had not, but she asked some of her actual San Antonio native friends, because she's not actually from San Antonio. But one of her San Antonio native friends has heard of the donkey lady, and they have had friends who have experienced a haunting by the donkey lady. See, this is how it turns into just an urban legend, because it always seems to be a friend of a friend of a friend, right? It's never a direct story. It's always someone else's story through even another person's eyes. So a very quick story I was told by her is that these friends of the friend ended up going to an abandoned house in the Elm Creek area, which I guess is known to be the donkey lady's old farmhouse. And while they were there, they actually got scratched by something that wasn't really there. And that caused them to run out of the house immediately, never going back. When my friend relayed this story from her friend, I thought to myself, I thought that this old lady's house, this donkey lady's house, was burned down, right? Because that's how she became the donkey lady, was from a house fire. So I decided to kind of try to do a little research and find out, does donkey lady's house exist? And if so, we should at least be able to pinpoint a time when this lady lived in the house, right? So in my search, I was not able to find anything about the abandoned home of this donkey lady until I found a YouTube video where people were doing their very own paranormal investigation on this Elm Creek Bridge. And they ended up running into some other people who came to do their own investigation. And they mentioned an abandoned house.
Y'all seen a donkey lady around here somewhere?
Not yet.
No, neither of us.
You guys looking for the donkey lady?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's this guy's first time, so
Yeah.
get the shit out of him.
Yeah, we've been looking for the donkey lady. She ain't here.
No.
Did
y'all try
if you
stuff?
throw stuff at her.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah?
it's a river.
If you throw stuff on the sides,
Yeah.
and if you go down there,
Yeah.
that's what we heard.
Yeah,
we come a
just-
lot. Go.
Oh yeah, you come a lot?
Yeah.
That's where you gotta go. Past the
Oh, we
barrier.
spent a lot of time here, and then we just got bored, so we started walking down there.
Yeah, because we sometimes we take it this way and just see how far this trail goes, and then, but like it gets creepy as shit. And
How far does it go over there?
we have no idea. We have friends that say that if you keep on going, that you reach a house. Yeah, supposedly there's a house down the road, like a good 2 miles.
Like
3
an old
miles.
house?
Yeah, like a broken down house.
Weren't you saying that like one of the legends is the donkey lady might have been burned? in that house?
Well, yeah, there was a house somewhere.
Yeah, I'm regretting coming to the
Yeah, apparently it's like straight down that way.
At this point, with our new friends, we went looking for the abandoned home of the Donkey Lady. Although we did find evidence of an old path, a few minutes in the path looked intentionally blocked by cut down trees and vegetation.
So here we are again, where some of the San Antonio locals who frequent the Elm Creek Bridge in search for the Donkey Lady, they claim that there's a house somewhere off in the woods, but they didn't find the house. They didn't go past the barrier of fallen trees and brush. So the question still remains in the air. Does Donkey Lady's home even exist anymore? I guess that's why it's an urban legend, because we'll never really know. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button and share this video with all your urban legend loving friends out there. And of course, if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe down below. And once you have subscribed, you can turn on the notifications bell if you want to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.